I don't know why we don't have nuclear cars.
Oh, God.
I do.
No, think we've got nuclear submarines, nuclear aircraft carriers. They fiddled with nuclear cars in the 50s, the idea of them. Why don't we try it next week? We build a nuclear car. I mean, how hard can it be?
Jeremy, last week you tried to build a simple police car and the wheel fell off. I think nuclear fission's a bit advanced for now.
Well, just don't let me do the concrete that surrounds the reactor. I've made it leak and now I've got two heads.
Look, I've been thinking, you know, the government's very keen for us to embrace electric cars. I was wondering, what if, on all the motorways in Britain, you put over the top of them a sort of metal grid fed with mains electricity?
What, you mean like Dodgers?
Exactly. So you leave home, you drive to the motorway with your normal petrol engine, and then you extend an antenna, you pull onto it, ABBA's Dancing Queen starts, all the change falls out of your pockets, and you're on your way to Scotland.
Well done, James, you've just invented the electric train.
No,
Moving on.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't, because if you think about it, a train stops in a station, then you've got to get from there home, and there's just some Nissan full of vomit, basically. This way, you get to your motorway turn-off, start your normal engine, you can... Why don't they do that? Because then just outside Watford Gap, some gormless yobbo could leap onto the running board and try and chat up your daughter.
For the full Dodgem experience.
Yeah.
You could even redesign cars a bit so when you turn the steering wheel so far, the front wheels turn around and you go backwards.
No,
and
you're being silly.
No,
you're being silly.
It's
Why
a serious...
not work?
I don't... The only thing I can think of that's wrong with it is that the Dodgem culture means that, say you lived in Devon, you might get up and go to drive onto the M5, but overnight they'd have moved it on to Shropshire.
That was the irritation.
No, sorry, I think we have just solved everything. Why don't they do that?
I don't know.
It does work. I think inadvertently, James, that's brilliant.
We're going to win a BAFTA now for that.
No, we're not.
Hey, you know the Citroën Berlingo?
Yes.
Are you aware of a French car company called Citroën? There we are, a good car show. He's wondering why you're not Ray Mears. That's what it is. Look, the thing is, right, Citroën have introduced this new car called the Berlingo. We've got a picture of it here, the new one, new version, there it is. Now, it's the first car ever to have a ski box in the roof, actually built in, so technically that's the first car ever to have a loft.
That means it's ripe for a loft conversion.
Yes.
You could get like an extra lavatory up there and maybe a bedroom.
You put some Romanians up there. No, wait, no BAFTA for that!
Dang.
We've just lost the BAFTA! Anyway, sadly I don't have a price for it yet, but it won't be much.
Well, it's a Citroën, so it won't be as much as it says in the brochure.
No,
Yeah, whatever that number turns out to be, take away most of it.
Yeah, exactly. If they say £7,000, go to the dealer and say, I've got £1, and he'll say, that'll do.
Yes.
That's what they do with all Citroëns. Oh, now, before we finish, you know the SsangYong Rexton?
Yes, Jeremy. What's it like?
Well,
Well, I know
that's
what's
very
coming,
convincing.
I know.
I know. We rang SsangYong the other day to see if we could borrow one of these, to see what it was like, and the public relations man said, no, I have other priorities.
That doesn't sound like he's very confident in it, does
No.
it?
Well, it depends. I mean, if when I rang him up, he was actually on fire, if he'd spontaneously combusted, he's going, no, I've got other priorities, that would make sense. Or if he was in bed with you...
If he found the code.
If he found the code and was in bed with you, then that would be a reasonable thing. But I suspect you're probably right. His main priority in life is making sure us three don't get hold of his horrible car.
Have we done? Have we done?
Does anybody want to buy that here? So that's 100% of British people don't want a SsangYong Rexton.
Another survey, and you're right.
It's a top survey.